So I was going to do this update from somewhere else, but if you can hear the background noise, that's the storm which is just passing over at the moment. So this is going to be slightly different in terms of what it is today, what I'm doing. This week has been the week when all the kids go back to school, so I managed to get rid of my children, which is quite nice. And then what I've been working on is the other project, the one which is going on in the background. And what that's led to is having to go and get some equipment that's arrived in the last few days or week or so, which is really quite nice. But it means I've now got a load of testing to do, so I need to work out how that new equipment is going to work. One of them is a new device called Debbie, and it's Brian, I think it was, who I went and collected it from. Thank you, really cool. I haven't managed to get out on it yet. However, hopefully tomorrow morning, if this rain clears up, will be a good opportunity to go and test it out and all the rest of it. Biggest thing is about what I'm working on is positioning. So kind of how do I hold position for the objectives that I've got, which is going to be quite tough. But I'll work through it. It is something which is doable. Which takes me on to training. So as it's been, I don't know how long since the last one, I've gone back to the training program which I did when I did the long distance Zwift one 2 years ago, which is more about kind of building up a mixture of endurance and high intensity. So what I did previously was on Mondays, I would wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning. I'd go out, and what I'd do is at 6 o'clock in the morning, I'd be my training period, which would include either on Zwift doing high intensity workouts, as doing intervals, or occasionally I'd be out on the road. Easier to do for me. I find it easier to do intervals on a static platform than I do on the road. Mainly because of things like traffic lights, road furniture, all the rest of it. If you've got on Zwift, you just concentrate on hitting the numbers, kind of easier. So that's what I was doing last time. Then on Tuesday nights I was doing 5 hours. 5 hours at that point was going up to about 210 watts average, which puts me about 3.2 watts per kilo. Maintaining that for 5 hours with good nutrition, and normally a virtual distance of 200 kilometers. That would be my Tuesday night, followed by going into Wednesday, do a bit of recovery, followed by Thursday would then hit intervals again. These intervals would be things like 5-minute efforts repeated 8 times, 3 minutes recovery. And then on the Friday, do similar, followed by recovery on Saturday, Sunday, then repeat the following week. Then you could see the incremental going through the different blocks that I did. I've repeated the same thing, or roughly the same structure this time, with some modifications. So this last 10 days or so, what I've done is, now the kids have holidays are come to an end. It's been nice. It was nice to be on holiday. It's fantastic. But now I can start to then refocus and reconcentrate, because I get schedules, I get routine to my life, which means that this Monday I was supposed to be commuting. However, kids with inset days and all the rest of it meant I work from home. So it was back on the turbo session and all the rest of it. Tuesday night was 5 hours. Now, yesterday was Tuesday was the weird thing where our internet from this area cut out. So what it meant was that I had to do a bit of a hack, which you can do on Zwift. I logged into Zwift using a tethered mobile phone that loads up your Zwift environment. Then once you get going onto it, you can disconnect your internet, so you can take the Zwift off. So not to take the internet away from Zwift. You then become the only person on your map. You become the loner, and then you ride solo, non-draft assisted. There's all the scoreboards go weird, all the rest of it. But you can still use it. You still got the interactivity in terms of the workout and the resistance on the turbo trainer, etc., because it's a smart trainer. But you effectively are the only rider. So I did that Tuesday night. Allegedly, I went from level 98 to level 99, unlocked a load of bike upgrades and stuff. But of course, because I was offline, didn't count. So it didn't. Yeah, I found out when I uploaded it the second time it was a bit different. So on Wednesday, I didn't actually do recovery. I was supposed to, but I didn't. I actually rested my legs and just did nothing instead. I didn't do my lunchtime recovery. So this morning was actually going back into doing intervals. And instead of doing the same set ones each time, I've been trying a bit of variety to keep some freshness, and also just adaptability too. So I haven't been enjoying the amalgam workout on Zwift. It works well. That second or the last 10-minute higher intensity interval, fuck that, it's your legs. But my numbers are looking good. I'm plugging all this information into intervals.icu so I can compare week by week, or if I've done repetitions of different rides and stuff, I can then directly compare how my performance was of things like efficiency coefficients, power per heart rate per watt, and all that kind of information. The trends at the moment are looking fantastic. They're looking in the right direction. It will ramp up and it will keep going. So I'm confident with that side of things. The other part of it is like Tuesday night with the 5 hours, it was actually quite hard. Not mentally, but kind of it was quite difficult with just kind of like keeping the focus on it. I'm quite happy doing these efforts. I'm quite in my element doing it effectively. But they kind of like, it was slightly going old school. Years ago, what I used to do is I used to have a knackered old shed in the back. Well, it wasn't knackered old. It was an old shed in the back garden, and I would have my turbo trainer. It was a dumb turbo trainer, and I'd have a heart rate monitor and a MP3 player. That's all I had for 2 hours or so, and I just kept 150 beats per minute on my heart, kind of thing, and it made wonders. Tuesday night was slightly a bit like that because it went back to some of the more basics without having the internet connection and all the rest of it. It had Spotify, but that was it. That was quite cool. So that takes me through that thing. I've got some other materials which are arriving in the coming days that allows me to do the next step, which is going to be looking at equipment selection. Equipment selection is going to be crucial. A lot of this is about things like CDA, how aerodynamic can I make myself, how aerodynamic, and get that drag coefficient as low as possible. Whether this goes, it might be, but certainly other hair will have to go. There will be things like aero socks, aero helmets, the bike choice, or the rest of it. The Enigma is now definitely not in its London Florist or London Edinburgh London status anymore. I think I said that in the last video. It's now kind of slightly more sportived. That's a word I haven't used in a long time. Anyway, it's slightly more like that instead of its ultra distance stuff with the Aperturas and everything else. But that's where that is at the moment. By the looks of it, with the program which I'm going to work through, I'm probably going to see less and less of outdoor space. Now, the last time I did this in 2022 or whatever it was, 2023, the one thing I did get to was by the time it got into October, November, not seeing the outdoor space. I was almost climbing the walls because you were the greenery. It's the leaving the premises. I work from home most of the time, so kind of like to actually leave the premises and being green space. Going to the office, jumping in the car and seeing people is one thing, but you're still indoors. If you on a bike, what it's been over the summer, it's been fantastic. 6 o'clock in the morning, going out across the fields and all the farmlands and all the rest of it, on the roads, obviously, not on the. I haven't got a gravel bike. Just the green space and the freshness of the air and everything. That's fantastic. That's the thing I'll miss over the next couple of months as I go through the program that I am doing. So I'm going to have to try and make sure I've got some mental space to make sure that gets compensated in certain ways. The rest of it is going well. Logistically, for the future projects, there's a lot of questions which are open. There's work that I'm doing with an outside or verification body, and it's all going all right. So that's where I am. Tomorrow morning, hopefully, I'm going to be in real life riding, so I'll be out on the road. I'll be with Debbie, which I'm quite looking forward to, providing everything arrives and all the rest of it. Then I can start doing some validation testing. Then that's going to be the start of the build. In terms of size of challenge, fuck, it's big. It's going to be tough. But I've done some of this stuff before. Some of it's getting familiar. Some of it is you want to race ahead and kind of really nail and nail and nail. But some of it you can't. Your body only adapts at a certain rate. There's only a certain speed at which you can up your fitness at. There's only a certain rate at which you can grow muscle structures or change your mitochondrial concentration in your muscles and all the rest of it. So you have to have some patience to it. And at the moment, there's the mixture of making sure you're patient, making sure you are motivated, and making sure you're disciplined as well. Some of the bits of discipline are easier. Things like I've elected that I'm going to give up alcohol or minimal alcohol until after this is done, which in my low drinking status as it is anyway, it's neither here nor there. The other part of it is things like Tuesday night, when they did the 5 hours, you can see what your calorific burn is, and it's about 3,500 calories, I think it was, which then translates to over the course of the whole day, you've burnt around about 5,000 calories. So to try and get calories back in again, sometimes it's just get sugars in you. You need to replenish that. But then sometimes it's the food choice. Have I picked the right food? I think Tuesday night, regrettably, I didn't unload food the right way. I'd had my complex carbohydrates, I had slow release carbohydrates, I had some immediate release carbohydrates, I had carbohydrates in my bottles. But then the next day I was really hungry, so I ate 3 pizzas. I'm not sure how disciplined that is. So that's where I am, that's what I'm working through, and looking good, positive. There'll be some updates that will come out that will be the teasers about some of the bits I'm working on, and eventually these videos will come out with all the details and all the background story that sits behind it. There you go.